Hello students, so from this video onwards we will be starting with the actual syllabus of our C programming for problem solving subject. So I will start with module 1. So module 1, it consists of two parts again, that is two chapters are included in this. So first chapter, it is basically about the computer, basic things about the computer, introduction to the computer. So what all things we should know before going to the actual language, like C language, what we are going to study in this subject. So before that, we have to know some important things about the computer system, how it works, and what are the inputs, how we can give the inputs, how we can give the outputs. So everything, what are the external devices, what are the internal devices, and what is the use of memory, and how the data will be stored within the memory. So all these things we should be aware of it, and later we will be moving to the high level language, that is a C language. So first let me start with the part 1 or chapter 1, introduction to the computer hardware and software. Okay, so let me start with this. So first we have to know the generations of computer. So till now we have 5 different generations of computer. So 5 different generations, how we are going to classify them into different generations means based on their size, based on their capacity, based on their speed, based on the memory capacity, based on the storage capacity. So all these things, based on these things, and what are the technology used in order to process the data. So everything based on these things, we are going to classify the computer generations into 5 different types, and the 6th generation is being in progress now. So first we will start with the first generation, then we will continue with the second, third, fourth, and fifth. So let me start with the first generation computers. So here in the diagram you can see this is the first generation computer. So before moving to this, so when actually was the first computer developed? So first computer, it was developed in 1943. Okay, so it was developed in 1943, and those computers, how they looked means, here in diagram you can see they are very larger in size. They will occupy almost a room. Size size of a computer is very big, and it needs a large amount of space in order to assemble. So here the first generation computers were developed during the 1940 and 56 with proper maintenance of the vacuum tubes. So main thing here is we made use of the vacuum tubes. So the inventors, what they did means they made use of a vacuum tube technology in order to perform the calculations, and also to store the data into the memory, and for processing the data into the memory. So for that purpose they made use of this vacuum tube technology. So first generation computers were working during the 1940 and 56 with the proper maintenance of the vacuum tubes on those computers. Vacuum tubes most useful to process the data in the memory. So first generation computers use more power from electricity. So as the more power was being used for the working of this first generation computers, the heat generated was also more. So as these systems were generating more heat, the system was also very much vulnerable to the attacks, that is the malfunctioning of the systems or malfunctioning of the different units of a system was very much due to the heat produced while processing the data. So in order to avoid that, what these people they did means they made use of the AC rooms, that is a cooling agents were included in order to maintain these units at proper temperature. So they used these first generation computers performed several operations, but those take more time due to the simple programming skills. So the programming skills were very simple, and they took very longer time in order to perform simple calculations also. So those type of computers take the input from the punched cards. So they made use of the punched cards, and by using those punched cards we need to give the input, and the output was being processed by this vacuum tube technology, and the output was being produced at this output screen. the examples of these first generation computers are UNIVAC, EVIAC. So all these like IBM generated computers also were there. So there are different computers which were being generated during this period. So whatever I have told you, like they will be making use of the vacuum tube technology, and the heat generated was more, and also the skills, programming skills was also very less. So this is about the first generation computers. Then moving to the second generation computers. Second generation computers, why they were developed means in order to overcome the drawbacks of the first generation computers, we went for the second generation computers. So these second generation computers were working in between 1956 and 63. So here mainly they made use of the transistors. So these transistors, they were little bit better when compared with the first generation computers. They were actually implemented in the year 1947, but they came into existence only after 1950. The size was also decreased when compared with the first generation computers. The second generation computers were maintaining with the help of the binary digits, that is the data whatever has been given by the user, it has to be converted into the binary, that is zeros and ones. And also the assembly level languages were also used by these computers in order to understand what actually the data has been given by the user. The common data, it was converted into binary as well as assembly level language, and it has been fed to the computer in order to give us the required output. So the famous high level language during this second generation computers were COBOL and Fortran, and they were developed in the second generation computers. See, these second generation computers, they were mainly used for the atomic energy industries. In atomic energy industries, in order to make the calculations, they were and in order to maintain the temperature checkup, everything was being carried out by this second generation computers. Whereas the first generation computer, it was used in US first time for calculating the census of a population, that is in order to count the population, how many people are there. So for that purpose they developed this first generation computers, whereas second generation computers, they were designed for atomic energy industries in order to take care of the readings, and also like a different applications also have been made used by the second generation computers. Next, third generation computers, they were very much compact when compared with the first and second generation computers. So here the third generation computers were working during 1964 to 71, and they were making use of the integrated circuits. Integrated circuits means IC chips at the place of transistors. Instead of transistors, they made use of the integrated chips or integrated circuits along with the silicon chips and semiconductor cells. So these semiconductor cells were used in order to store the data in the memory unit. They can increase the system performance and efficiency. So in order to increase the system performance and efficiency, and also to reduce the space required, and also to improve the speed, so for all this purpose, third generation computers were developed, and they were mainly making use of the silicon chips and the semiconductor cells. So this generation computers, they made use of the keyboard and operating system to provide the high efficiency to the users. So they were the improved versions of the second generation computers. So this is about the third generation computers. Next, moving to the fourth generation computers. So these fourth generation computers, they were working with the microprocessors. So fourth generation computers were working from 1971 onwards, and they were working with the help of the microprocessors. It consists of several ICs and places them in single environment to complete the operations quickly. So in third generation computer, a single semiconductor silicon chip was used, which will be consisting of the semiconductor cells, but here more than one microprocessors were being used in order to ease the performance of a system, and all of them were placed in a single environment in order to complete the operations quickly. It has proper input and output controls, so number of people are working with the fourth generation computers. So this generation was designed by the IBM company in 1981 and Apple company by 1984. Fourth generation computers occupy limited space. So this is one of the advantages of the fourth generation computer. So next, moving to the fifth generation computer. So now whatever computers we are making use of, they are nothing but the fifth generation computer. So this fifth generation computer